Hey there guys, Dave Thomas, owner of Dave Thomas and the Dream Team here. And in the last week, I had a whole bunch of buyers pop up out of nowhere. I mean, last Wednesday, I had 3 different pre-qualified buyers, past clients, give me a call and tell me out of the clear blue sky, they're ready to get out there and start looking at property. Really unique for the December timeframe, but I'm always welcome to it. So as always, guys, you're thinking about buying a house or selling, buying an investment, Airbnb a property, doing whatever, you know, you can call me. So anyway, today we're gonna be talking about, in the name of Dave Thomas's buyer business, is best practices when you're getting out there and actually looking at property. We're gonna talk about that right now.
Dave Thomas and the Dream Team song coming at you.
The first thing that we're gonna talk about in regard to getting out there and looking at property is actually, I think, gonna be a little counterintuitive to people, and that's gonna be actually limiting the number of homes that you look at in any given day. So I'm not gonna say limit the number of homes, you know, in total, but definitely limit the number of homes you're gonna look at in one day. And the reason for this is because looking at property can be exhausting. So I encourage people to look at 5, maybe 6 houses on any given day. And this seems to be a real sweet spot for people. If you think about it this way, let's say you don't take Dave's advice and you go out there and you look at 10 houses and they're all 4-bed, 3-bath properties with a basement. Well, that means you're gonna look at 40 bedrooms, 30 bathrooms, and you're gonna hike your keister up and down 30 flights of stairs. Now for me, clearly in very great shape, not a big deal. I show up at the gym day after day so that I can be mentally and physically ready to walk in and out of properties, both of sellers and buyers. Make sure you're limiting those properties. The thing is about getting mentally exhausted, even physically exhausted looking at homes, is that I find that people will often look at like what would have been their favorite house, their home they would actually buy at house number 2, maybe even house number 1. But by the time they get to house number 10, they've forgotten all about it. They forgot the feeling that they had when they were inside the house. They forgot how much they loved it. And they moved on past what would have been their right home, their perfect property. So limit it to 4 or 5, maybe 6 properties a day, and then stop and get out there and look the next day. You know, I've got a client I'm showing this weekend. We're gonna look at 6 houses day 1. She sent me some more property. I'm happy to get out there and show her on a Sunday and look at the rest of those properties just so that they're not exhausted and they really are taking in those properties and making sure they're making the right decision for them. Now, when you're out there looking at property, the first thing I think you should do when you hop out of your real estate agent's car and start looking at the home is actually pause and take a look at the location. So don't even go inside, pause out front of the home and take a look around. Is it on a busy street? Is there like a sewage plant down the way? It's causing a weird smell. Is there air traffic coming over you? Do you have planes flying right overhead? They're gonna rock your world at 6 o'clock in the morning every day and 11 o'clock at night every night. Take a look at those things. Make sure that you don't have loud noises, weird smells around the property. Take a look at your neighbors. Are they keeping up their homes? One of my seen properties struggle to sell because their neighbors are hoarders, not even them, because their neighbors have multiple vehicles parked on their lawn and boxes everywhere and just stuff hanging around their home, and buyers don't want to live around that stuff. So take a look and make sure you're not buying into that kind of environment where you're going to have a hard time selling down the road. So there's a reason the first 3 rules of real estate are location, location, location. Because it's super important and you can change pretty much anything else about a home except for where it's located. You can't add a view to a property. You can't move a busy street out of your backyard. So make sure you're taking location into account when you're looking at buying a home. Again, you can usually look down at a map of the property and see that you have a busy street in your backyard, but you can't look at a map and see if there's a weird smell that's ruminating around the property all day, every day. Next, when you're looking at a property and you're actually getting inside the home, what I encourage people to do is actually I think the opposite of what's intuitive, and I actually encourage you to do your best to ignore the current finishes. So don't pay too much attention to the finishes that are currently in the home, and I want you to actually focus more on how the home flows and the bones of the property. So look at not necessarily what color a living room is painted, but where the living room is located. How big is it? Will it work for your family? Do you like the way the property moves, you know, as you move through the home? Do you like open concept, or do you want a more traditional layout that gets you, a formal dining room and a formal living room? These are the things we're talking about when we're talking about the bones of a property. I mean, you can retile a bathroom with 1 weekend of your time at Home Depot learning how at one of their classes and a couple $100. But taking down a wall in a home is a whole lot more difficult than HGTV wants you to believe it is. So get into a property, make sure you like the way that the home feels, knowing that you can change paint, you can change flooring, you can change, vanities and bathrooms all relatively easily, relatively affordably. But don't miss out on a home that would have been perfect for you with just a couple $100 and a little bit of elbow grease because you didn't like the wallpaper that was in the kitchen. The next thing I'm going to encourage you to do when you're out there looking at property is don't worry too much about inspecting the home. Actually inspecting the home, looking under sinks, getting up on the roof. I've had some people ask me if I have a ladder so they can get up on the roof. And then you ask them, are you a roofing professional? Well, no. So do you even know what you're looking at when you get up there, what you're supposed to be looking for? Because a severely damaged roof actually takes a pretty practiced eye to identify. Sometimes they just have holes in the roof and that's no good. I could tell you that. I'm not just some agent telling you to not inspect the property because I want you to write an offer on just anything and everything and get you under contract really quick so I can move on to the next one. No, what I'm saying is don't worry too much about actually doing a physical inspection of the property where you're out viewing homes, because you're gonna have a real inspector actually go through the home and let you know the actual condition of the property. In addition, let's say you are touring through the home and you do find an adverse condition, a lot of times those repairs can actually be negotiated and you don't have to miss out on that property because it has some kind of deficiency in it. The best example I can think of is I had a listing earlier this year that had polybutylene piping in it, and I got feedback from one of the agents that looked at it that said it would have been the perfect home for her client, except that her client is a plumber and saw that there's polybutylene piping in the home. And that's just crazy to me. One, in my listing, I already disclosed it and disclosed that we're going to be providing a credit to repair all the polybutylene piping, and this dude's a plumber. Why not just pocket the credit yourself and then replace the plumbing yourself? It's not like it's irreplaceable. It's totally a doable project. A little expensive? Absolutely. But that person said this would be our perfect home if it didn't have poly, and they walked away from it when they could have just had that issue nipped in the bud, either by us or themselves. They had more options than most people. Know that when you're walking through the home, any deficiency you might see oftentimes can be negotiated and repaired by the seller, and you're going to be getting your own home inspection done when you go through the property. Yeah, at least you will if you're Dave Thomas's client. I do not let people buy houses without inspections. I find it's one, way too much liability for them, and in addition, too much liability for me. You need to be getting inspections done on your property. Next, finally, when you're getting out there and looking at buying a property, make sure you have a representative. Make sure you have hired a real estate agent who is going to work for you, and they're going to get out there and show you properties and write your offer and negotiate the best deal that they possibly can for you. That is incredibly important. I have a lot of people, probably 1 or 2 times a month, not as often as I used to. I think this is definitely, I think that this trend is kind of falling out of vogue. I have a couple people a month call me because they want to look at one of my listings. They want to work directly with the listing agent, which is me, and they want me to show them the property. Now I'll tell you this, I am absolutely happy to show them my listing. I think it's part of my job. I think I am here to get out there and do everything I can to sell my seller's property. And if that means getting out there and showing it to a buyer I haven't met before, that's part of it, man. Let's get as many people through the door as we can. Let's get that listing sold. But with that in mind, that also doesn't mean that the listing agent is the perfect person to be showing you the property. Because in regard to my listings, I'm a shark mixed with a bulldog, mixed with a gorilla, with Matt Frazier. That's because I have a signed listing agreement with that seller stating that I am going to be all those things for them. I'm going to get out there, I'm going to fight for them, I'm going to do everything I can to get the most amount of money for their property in the least amount of time. And so you as a buyer are now going to be working with me, the listing agent, who is sworn to protect and work as hard as I can for that seller. And you're going to try and get the best deal from that person. In addition, I don't provide discounts to buyers for working with me directly, so you're not going to save any money on that front. So just get yourself a representative, somebody who's actually going to get out there and work for you. You'll come write an offer on my property. Definitely do that. But make sure you have somebody who's going to be looking out for your best interest throughout the transaction, somebody who you have a signed agreement with stating that they're going to protect your best interest and be a shark, gorilla, bulldog, Matt Frazier on your behalf. In summary, guys, sure you limit the number of homes you're looking at on any given day, paying attention to the location of the property. Above all else, focus more on the bones of a property rather than getting too hung up on the finishes of a property, knowing that you can easily change things like paint and flooring and vanities. Finally, make sure you have a representative. Make sure you have an agent who's going to be working for you to get you the best possible deal for the property and protect you throughout the transaction process. Buying a home is a huge financial decision and a lot of money trades hands, and you need to make sure you have somebody who's looking out for you throughout that transaction. I'd be happy to be that person for you if you're here in the Springs market or the surrounding area. Showing property as far west as Woodland Park and Divide this weekend. Or if you're looking for a recommendation for an agent in any market in the country, I'm happy to refer you to somebody that you can trust. Please don't hesitate to give us a call if you have questions about anything real estate related. You can reach us at this number. Here's our email, and you can always visit us at daveandthedreamteam.com, and you can contact us from there. Please Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. 16 subscribers in the last month, an all-time best for the Dave Thomas and the Dream Team YouTube channel. And of course, always like us on Facebook, guys. I really appreciate that stuff. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
If someone would be so kind to record us a theme song, I would be happy to put it in the video.
Just got back from Florida. I should be so much tanner. God. Oh well. Is our Christmas tree up? Can you see it? Did that sentence even make sense?